Hey YouTube, I know the video quality isn't the greatest here, but this is really interesting. It says, for the first time in history, Islamic prayers to be held at the Vatican. Okay, for the first time in history, Islamic prayers will be held and readings from the Quran be heard at the Vatican on Sunday in a move by Pope Francis to usher in peace between Israelis and Palestinians. Okay, now what I want to point out about this though is, if we look back at this ceremony here, okay, where the when was this? This was in well, this article was posted in January, so if I recall, this was sometime around in January. The Pope had his dove releasing ceremony, okay, and there was some doves released, and then they were immediately attacked by a seagull and a raven here. Now, what's interesting about this is, for those of you that know your Torah, the raven and the seagull are both unclean birds. Now, we know, of course, the dove symbolizes the Ruach HaKodesh, or what many people refer to as the Holy Spirit, but it's also a symbol of peace. And what I want to point out is, you know, when I read this article immediately back in, I guess it was January when it happened, January, early February, or it was January, because this was posted in late January. So when I read this article immediately, which this isn't even the page, I don't even think this is the page that I read, but the point is, we see the dove, which symbolizes peace, is attacked by two unclean birds. And really, when it boils down to it, this is a message from the Most High. This is a message from the Most High. This event was a prophetic event explaining to us that although the Pope will attempt to release peace into the earth, the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, will use the adversary known as Satan, the devil, okay, which is symbolized by these two unclean birds, okay, to take peace from the earth. And this is reminiscent of verses in Jeremiah, where I believe it's in Jeremiah, where it talks about you've healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly by saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Okay, and this is the message that the Most High is trying to show us, that although the Pope is going to try to release peace into the earth, it will not succeed. Peace will be taken from the earth. Peace will be, if you want to read about these things, I'll put the links to these two, these two different pages. This one's real brief here, but if this is actually, where's it at? This is, it appears to be a Fox News source, so it does seem to be legit. But here we can see now in June, what was foretold in January, back in January, with the Pope trying to release the doves, trying to release peace into the earth. We can see that now it's taken place. Pope Francis trying to usher in peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. So it appears everything is right on schedule. And I'm just going to tell you right now that if it does appear that he's going to in fact establish peace between these two people, it won't last long. It will result in war. It will result in there being no peace. Okay, that's what the prophetic this whole situation was showing us here back in January. So just keep that in mind. Just keep in mind that biblical prophecy is coming to pass. Just keep in mind that these events are all very significant, that if you're paying attention to what's going on, that God is actually showing you what's going to take place. And so it's time for us to be sober and be vigilant, because the time of trouble, I hope you guys aren't still caught up in these ideas that, I'm not here trying to sit here and tell you, oh, the rapture is about to take place, because really when it comes down to it, there is no such thing as a pre-tribulation rapture taught in the scriptures. And if you haven't accepted that yet, my friends, there's no need for me to sit here and ram it into you. At some point or another, you're going to eventually see that it's a false doctrine, because you're not going anywhere. You're going to be in the midst of the time of trouble, which is symbolized by these two birds. So what I would suggest is, make sure that your heart is right with God. Make sure that you are, remember the Messiah said, let not your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting of drunkenness and the cares of this life, that day overtake you as a thief. For as a snare shall it come upon the whole world to try them that dwell upon the face of the whole earth. Okay? So it means everybody, not just the group that wasn't raptured. So, and we can see that this is getting ready to take place. So I would advise everybody to start looking, paying attention, discerning what's going on, because peace will be released and peace will be taken. That's what God is showing us. And we can see that just as it was shown, He's trying to do it right now. So, like I said, guys, be aware, be watching, okay?